Welcome back to Social Club for the final time this week. If you haven't watched the previous parts, go and do it now. They're an absolute belter. Ped does some stuff and says some things, and Louis said something that we will never, ever live down.
Ever speak of
You'll
again.
have to watch every single part to find out which one.
We will never speak of those things again, ever.
We will never, ever. We will speak about them constantly.
Yeah, to be fair, we
every
will.
single time he turns up here.
Yeah,
that's fine.
But
adds more to my repertoire.
For the final time this week, Rashford, you know, he was the wonder kid of last season. Went
to the Euros.
And went to the Euros and looked very bright, very promising. Mourinho's obviously Everton manager, imagine, you wish. Man United manager. Man United manager. And I actually remember thinking when he took over that might not be a brilliant move for someone like Martial. Well, hang on, you know, if it's not a great move for Martial, if he's unlikely to start games in centre forward, what's it say for Marcus Rashford? Is he the kind of player who's going to be able to thrive under Mourinho?
It's a tough one, isn't it? Because the high-profile strikers they've got, you know, Martial finished the season quite strongly, didn't he? He was looking better and better as he got used to the league. Zlatan's going to play, I should imagine, the majority of the time, given that he's now become the focal point. They'll have to look after, obviously, Zlatan as we go forward, won't they, given the age and how tough the Premier League is. And then, I suppose, the only one, you know, we've got Rooney, but then Rooney's the captain, and Mourinho loves Rooney, doesn't he? So, someone like Rashford will probably have to take a coming off the bench with 20 minutes to go kind of role. And
is that fine though for a player of his age?
He was pretty much a coming off the bench kind of guy anyway, wasn't he? But I just think
we had a good Van Gaal started early part of last season.
But I just think that under Van Gaal didn't have much else to look at, did he? And if Man United want to win the league, then they're going to need more than him, aren't they? They're going to need players. They're going to need players with better ability. When I looked at that team on Friday night, the front six were just scary. Do you know what I mean? The front five, front six was just scary. So he'll get games. I think what was really important though for Mourinho was that he started the season really well. He got 2 wins, and if he can go into that international window with 3 wins under his belt, that's an amazing platform. Then once the Europa League starts for them, then I think he'll start seeing a little bit more of a mix, and I think other players will come into it. And he will have to look after Zlatan. He will have to look after Rooney. You know, they're not young lads anymore. Where do these players fit in with Pogba? And I think he will use them. I just think we just get caught up in the first few weeks of the season.
That being said, you know, look, Louis, you know Mourinho better than anyone in this room, personally.
He's a great man of mine.
But that being said, you know, he had a track record of not, you know, Rashford does not fit the archetype of what Mourinho would have as his centre forward in any way.
No, he doesn't. I don't think if Rashford starts, he'll play him out of position. He could, I reckon, because like you're saying, you already got off the bench. You've got players like Mkhitaryan that are available. I just think Rashford just won't get the opportunities that everyone expects him to get. I just can't see it happening. And I think he fits the mould of the English hype player, which Ross Barkley was at one point, which many other players have been at one point. Theo Walcott, Wayne Rooney at that point, though he kind of may or may not debatably have lived up to the hype.
These won't debate that.
But it's like, I don't think Rashford won
every trophy and he's England's highest ever goal scorer. So I think he may have just done that.
Well, that's exactly what I'm saying.
You have to ask where it all went wrong for me.
But it's a case of I think Rashford.
No Joe Cole.
No, Joe Cole wouldn't.
No, he's not.
Rashford, I think, just won't get given the right amount of game time to develop. And I think in the end he will turn into one of the players who could be loaned out. He could be one of those.
Everton bound,
exactly. He could be like almost what Januzaj was a couple of years ago. So
because here's the thing for me, and look, Mourinho, I think we all can agree, he doesn't have as much as he tries to hype it. He tried briefly to hype it. He doesn't have a track record of bringing through young players.
Is he really bringing through a young player though? I mean, I think what that is players coming through the system and then getting a chance. This kid's already had a chance and proven he is a good player, and it'll just be him to fit into his system. I think he can fit in because Mourinho, when he went to Chelsea, his first success was playing 4-3-3, and it worked really, really well. A good, strong striker in the middle and 2 fast players around him. Now, if he's got Rashford on one side and Martial on the other side for some games, they're going to tear teams to bits.
Of course, potentially, but look at. If you're looking at a kid, let's look at it from an England perspective, and it's very hard for me to do this, but you know, if if you want to be a centre forward, you've got to play centre forward. Otherwise, you just Theo Walcott, aren't you? He's forever saying you're going to be a centre forward and never having the chance to prove it. You know, Michael Owen under Mourinho would have ended up playing right wing and never would have had the opportunity to do it.
This is exactly what's going to happen to Rashford.
Exactly, and this is the thing, because look, he's done it with better centre forwards than that. Nicolas Anelka only ever got to play centre forward when Drogba was injured. He'd score loads of goals, Drogba would come back and he'd get boosted out to the right.
But he also played Samuel Eto'o left wing in a 3. And they went on and won. It worked amazingly well.
Did it though?
They went on and won the Champions League, so I suppose it sort of did work. So, you know, he's...
Oh, sorry, I thought you meant for
Chelsea.
For Chelsea,
no,
sorry, yeah.
Obviously no.
He's
got... Listen, ultimately, Man United fans will just go, if Rashford doesn't play and we win the league, do we give a fuck?
Oh, yeah.
So, and if Rashford isn't better than those players, then...
Well, it's interesting to Man United fans watching. Would you give a fuck?
as well, haven't you? Memphis Depay.
Remember him?
Well, that's what I mean. I mean, he's one who allegedly was going to be... This was going to be the season he was going to kick on. You know, he didn't have a very good season last season. He's a flyer, isn't he? He's got ability. He's obviously got ability, but he find himself pushed out as well.
I mean, this is the thing, is that under normal circumstances, because again, it's been a bugbear so far, I'd be like, listen, it's 2 games into the season. There's plenty of football to be played. Man United have got European football to contend with as well. So I'm not denying that he's going to get minutes on the pitch. I'm just saying that if him and Martial want to be centre forwards, that's not the manager to be playing.
In the second half of last season, did Liverpool basically just forget about the league and concentrate on the Europa League?
Yes.
Then there you go. You need a big squad to compete in Europe and the Premier League. Now, not many teams now are going to be able to go and win a European competition and try and win the Premier League as well. Yeah. It just can't happen anymore. Yeah. We've seen over the last few... FFP, although it's been relaxed and all the rest of it, it did take a big bite out of the Premier League and the squads and who you could have on the bench. And I think having some young players on the bench, you don't have to worry about that situation. That really, really helps. And I know it's the ultimate argument, but the Thursday to Sunday thing does seem to make a massive hit on clubs. Yeah. And I just think having those kids around when it really kicks in, it's going to be massive. He cannot play Zlatan on a Thursday and expect him to play on a Sunday. And he can't do it with Rooney.
But the point is you're not swapping Zlatan out and putting Mark.
But are we having this argument about Mkhitaryan?
Mourinho uses very
because he's
small
on the bench
squads.
at the moment, isn't he?
But he plays in a position that actually exists on the pitch.
But he's on the bench.
But
he's on the bench at the moment. Now he's a big money signing,
yeah.
And he'll get chances. Yeah. And I think that'll be for all of them.
Yeah, exactly. But the point is, if he rotates Rooney or Zlatan, and Mkhitaryan's fine to come in because he still fits the mould of what type of player he would use. I'm saying is that Marcus Rashford is never playing centre forward for Man United.
He's going to be a wide player.
Mourinho uses very, very small squads. That's the thing. He did it the season we won the league. He did it by both seasons. He did it Inter. He did it Real Madrid. He uses very small squads. He uses players that he likes to use. That's why I don't think Rashford will get the opportunities that he should be getting. It's a case of, I think, Mkhitaryan's going to come into the fold ahead of him, I think, because, like Paul's saying, that's his position. I think it might be the same with Depay, because that's his position. Martial, I reckon you could do the Thursday-Sunday thing, and he could start as a centre-forward, potentially in the Europa League.
But I don't think he fits, again, he doesn't fit the archetype of what he wants from his centre-forwards. He's not big, he's not physical enough, he's not a target man, is he? No. You know what I mean? He fits the archetype of what Mourinho does, which is what he did with Anelka, what he did with Daniel Sturridge, Lukaku to some extent, is, right, kid, you're not me hold-up man, but you've got pace, go ahead, we'll stick it out on the flank.
Is the argument then just the simple fact that this kid's not good enough to play in a...
He's not 6'4" and built like a brick shit house.
Well, then therefore, if he's not good enough,
he's not good enough.
No, it is though, because intelligent footballers can change positions. They can play in
can't grow.
No. But they can play
deliberately.
But he can play in a 4-3-3 and play on the wing.
To be fair,
good players can do that.
Yeah,
good players can change position.
Anelka was like that. To be fair,
Rooney was like that under Ferguson. That's why when there was Rooney and Ronaldo coming through, Rooney sacrificed himself a little bit and played in all these different positions, and Ronaldo got all the headlines because he was playing central and scoring goals. But it was the intelligence of Wayne Rooney to be able to change into those positions. Now, if this lad wants to play, he's going to have to be able to be versatile. All right, it might necessarily suit his game straight away, but if he's an intelligent footballer, he will be able to do that.
But just again, let's look at it from an England perspective. What if this lad is the next great 25 goal a season, Michael Owen, centre forward? and he's not going to be allowed to be that, to develop to be that, because his manager doesn't play that.
I think you said it before. So the video probably could have been 6 minutes shorter. It's 2 games in. We're not going to know. I understand what you're saying. If he's going to get in that team, it's going to be in a wide area. He's not going to go down the middle. Whether he accepts that, might be like Ped said, he's able to develop in those areas. But ultimately, if he wants to be a centre forward who scores goals, he's going to have to prove himself, isn't he? He's only going to be able to prove himself.
Listen, the future of Marcus Rashford, I take this person as keeping
is
up
it
at
worrying
night.
you?
It does feel. I do feel like
at the end of the
it's
day,
keeping you up at night.
at the end of the day, Mourinho, if you're a young player under Mourinho, you're not going to develop. It's as simple as that.
There you go.
It just doesn't happen.
From a Chelsea man.
From a Chelsea man. If you enjoy what we do on Social every week, make sure that you click the subscribe button in the corner of the screen and subscribe to the Ball Street YouTube channel. You can click the notification icon as well if you want to be notified when these videos come, so you can watch them first and be that person in the comments who writes first and is cool and is dead cool. You can by clicking the notification thing. Cheers.